Confidence isn't something you wait to feel, it's something you build. One wobbly, uncomfortable, self trusting step at a time. And that's exactly what we're talking about today with Katie Pulsifer. Welcome to the Self Trust Solution, the podcast for entrepreneurs, leaders, and high achievers who are done second guessing and ready to execute with clarity. I'm your host, Dawn Leday, the Self Trust Coach, and each week I'll help you build the one strategy that makes all others work: self-trust. This is where bold goals meet grounded action. Let's dive in. Welcome back. Today's guest is someone whose work has had a profound impact on me, whether she knew it at the time or not. When I was newly certified, I applied for a coaching position, a contract, and I didn't get it. And it was what I now call a necessary no. So at the time, it stung totally, right? But looking back, I realized that I was operating from proving energy, not service. I wasn't trusting myself. I was letting fear drive the bus, hoping the title or position would actually be the thing that validates me. And that no forced me to recalibrate, not just my skills, but the energy I brought to the table. And that shift, it changed how I coach, it changed how I lead, and it's what ultimately led me to deepen the exact self-trust that I now teach. And the person who helped influence that shift is today's guest, Katie Pulsifer. She's a master certified coach and educator who's trained thousands of coaches and leaders to lead with presence, compassion, and integrity. She believes self-trust, not perfection, is the real foundation of confidence, and that your presence is your most powerful strategy. Katie, I'm so glad you're here. Let's start with this. You said confidence isn't something that you wait to feel, it's something you build. Can you talk about what that really means, especially in those early kind of wobbly seasons where fear is loud and permission feels just out of reach?
Mm. Thank you for having me. Of course. Yes. So confidence is definitely something that we build one wobbly step at a time. I love to believe that it is our willingness to try, to do hard things, to put ourselves out there one maybe baby step at a time. But we gain so much knowledge and wisdom on the path, in the pursuit of something. Unfortunately, many of us believe, and I used to as well, that, oh, I'll wait to feel this magical motion of confidence, and then that will be my permission slip to go for it, to do the thing that I want to do. And yet those baby steps, those incremental little fail forwards, mini successes, that process is what actually builds the confidence within us along the way. Because on that path, we're collecting evidence. And that is the most crucial part, is we're gathering evidence that, yes, we can do what we say we're going to do. Yes, we can survive setback and failures, like you spoke about, like getting that first no, which ultimately turned into a yes. That we can acquire skills along the way. We can be with ourselves when things are easy, when they're hard. And those are all of the foundations of building confidence.
Absolutely. I talk a lot about doing it for data, right?
Yeah.
The data so that we can support ourselves moving forward. We can't
Yes.
learn anything from getting it right.
Yes. And just from knowledge gathering from a book or an article or a podcast episode. I mean, we do fill up and we do glean a lot of wisdom, but until we put it into practice, until we go out into the world and apply it, we don't know it in the same way. The data isn't as robust and informative to our particular situation.
Totally. It remains this thing outside of us that could be possible. And it's
Yes.
actually implementing it and making it a part of our process.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Okay. So tell us, you talked about self trust as the foundation of leadership. Obviously, that's right up my alley.
Yeah,
How
it
does,
is.
how does that show up in the day to day life for a coach or entrepreneur, especially on those days when things feel just really hard or uncertain or unclear?
Well, I think in my experience for myself personally, building a business, putting my work in the world, or seeing it in the other coaches that I mentor and train and work with, it's really shows up when we can be with ourselves in the moments of, I mean, let's tell the truth here. Most of what it takes to build a business or get our work into the world, it's very boring. It's a lot of really boring, repetitive tasks that it would be very easy to talk ourselves out of. I mean, I don't know about you, but I could always find a pile of laundry that needed folding or an errand to run, anything to escape the boredom. But when we can be, for example, with the boring tasks, the repetitive tasks of writing the newsletter or creating another social media post or doing research on how to bring our work into the world, when we can be with the boredom enough and build that muscle, it's like, oh, I trust myself to not abandon my dream, to to be a coach or to be a leader or to be an entrepreneur. I trust myself that I can be bored and do it anyway.
Mm.
Or I can feel uninspired today and not bail. I can be highly motivated and not make that mean when I'm unmotivated, those are the days that I don't go to work, because that's what we really need
Yeah.
our self trust for, is to keep showing up for our businesses, for ourselves, for our clients, for our customers. And that really is the incredible foundation that self trust can create for us.
Absolutely. It's not making that discomfort, whether it be boredom or uncertainty or demotivation, mean anything about your future.
Right.
It's not a signal. It's speaking for one part of you. Yes, in the moment,
Yeah.
want to do it. And I always talk about we can anticipate and allow for that because it's going to come.
Yes. If
No surprise.
exactly. Maybe 20 times before lunch,
Yeah.
right?
But it only speaks for that in the moment you. It doesn't speak for all of you, the one that
Hmm.
wants to reach the people that you want to help. It doesn't
Yes.
speak for the you that wants to create the business that serves. And so we
Hmm.
need to get used to our different flavors, if you will, of discomfort that come up and support ourselves through them. I always teach comfort plans because discomfort is normal, it's going to come, but we don't want to distract from it. Doing laundry, to your point, or going for a walk, those are beautiful things, but they're pulling you away from the task at hand. And if we put into place intentional comforts that actually support continuing to move forward, we're both taking
Mm-hmm.
care of ourselves, showing ourselves that we matter, and so as our future wants and desires.
Exactly. Well said.
So good. So something I see a lot and have definitely lived myself is this pattern of second guessing or thinking we need more before we can lead, more information, more
Mm-hmm.
experience, more credentials. What do you say to someone stuck in maybe that cycle of waiting for permission or waiting for the the thing that they believe will make a difference?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I like to, with things exactly like this, normalize it as much as possible. It just makes so much sense why we would seek that out. Um, that having more expert energy, more security, more knowing would perhaps guarantee a better outcome. We might feel better along the way. We certainly will tell ourselves that we'll feel safer. So it makes so much sense why we crave that. It's, I think, of course, wired into our biology that we would absolutely crave create the best environment for us to risk something. So normalize it first. And yet, if we buy into that too much, or we let our brains talk or talk ourselves into that too much, we'll stay in that preparing mode forever. And then we'll likely second guess our preparations. Should I have gotten, I don't know, this CRM versus that CRM? Should I be on this social media platform or that one? We just start spinning. So, to support what we were saying a few moments ago, we often won't know until we go out and get the data.
Mm.
So, I think, a certain amount of preparation that will help us stack the odds in our favor. I don't think we all want to be random and just not thought through. And yet we have to cut ourselves off at some point and put our work in the world to at least get feedback.
Mm.
I was teaching a class a couple weeks ago, and I said we get an infinite number of do-overs as business owners. It's a beautiful thing. Take advantage of all the do-overs that we get to do, but we don't get a do-over unless we start doing. And I know it's hard to just do when you don't have a guaranteed outcome. And yet, the best way to get to a guaranteed outcome is to do and then do over and do over and do over until you get to that result that you want.
Collecting the lessons along the way. I think that's such an
Yeah.
important other piece. And that's part of that permission. The truth is, you just have to give yourself permission.
Mhm.
Don't wait for it, just give it. And it might be just
Yeah.
giving yourself the permission to press send, or as simple as
Yes.
giving yourself the permission to just, you know, reach out to one person and collect the data that you learn from that so that you do start recognizing yourself as a person that does,
Mhm.
that has the permission and is the one who can give it.
Yes. Yes.
Yay. You have such a grounded, ethical approach to coaching. And I'd love to know, how do you personally stay connected to your own voice and values when the industry can sometimes push urgency and formulas
Mm.
and constant
Mm.
visibility?
Mhm. Yes, yes, it does mean it feels like I'm swimming upstream some days. Um, and yet I am really clear on what I want to stand for, and I am really clear on what my business is going to stand for. Before I even put any of my work into the world, I sat down and really mapped my values for my business, which are integrity, humility, and love. And I run, and there are more, but those are the three key ones. And I run all of my decisions through my values. So anything, any work I'm going to put into the world, any conversations I'm going to have, I make sure that I've like filtered them through those values, because at the end of the day, I want to know that when I do things for the first time, I put my work in the world, and I experiment and I try new things. What ties all of that together is my core messaging that is rooted in my values. And I would rather take the long way than the shortcut. And I've tried to take the shortcuts before. Don't get me wrong. I didn't wake up one day knowing all of this. I learned it by doing it, taking some shortcuts, and it never landed or sat right with me at the end of the day. So, um, being willing to go the long way around, rooted in my values, to build a business that's ethical, client centered, where I am just constantly reinforcing my trustworthiness, that you can count on me to do what I'll say I'll do, is the way that I am pursuing this work, and the way I want to inspire other coaches to do the same, whatever their values happen to be.
Yeah. So beautiful. I too have three core values. Of course, there are many, but they serve as such a beautiful filter to direct so that
Mm.
when uncertainty, when we don't have clarity, if we filter our decisions through our values, we can't go wrong. It doesn't mean the result will happen exactly the way we want, but it does mean that we are learning from integrity and from the values that we have. And I think that's so important. I love
You're so right. I would also add that when problems arise, so we're so afraid of what will go wrong. And so that's what I was mentioning a little bit ago, that we're trying to prevent that. But when we start to do and put our work in the world, and then inevitably something will go wrong, when we have the backdrop of our values, we then know how to solve for it, which I keep being reminded of over and over and over again. It's like, okay, how would my values take care of this issue that I couldn't anticipate a few months ago because I just didn't know? But how would I solve for it now? The values, returning to that, or our mission statement, the answer often reveals itself, and we can do a fix for something that has shown up unexpectedly.
absolutely. Absolutely. So you have trained thousands of coaches.
Mhm.
What's one
Mhm.
simple question or reflection that you want more coaches or leaders to ask themselves regularly that may keep them anchored in who they are?
Yes. So I think too many of us are asking, like, am I ready? Or can I do this? These yes or no questions that we usually say no to. The fear, small, timid part of us wants to say no from a very protective place. And so I love flipping questions, and I've heard you use amazing questions like this as well. But it's like, what would I do today if I trusted myself completely? Or what is one small step that I could take right now if I knew I would be okay? Like these invitations that are gentle, but also what's coming through those questions is, I'm on my side.
Yeah,
I have self trust. I'm on my side. So, with that, what's my next move? What's my small inspired action? What's my next idea? And it's giving our brain the evidence that the trust is there, that it's inherent, and that from there, we just need to do the one next thing.
absolutely. There's an openness to
Mhm.
questions that way. I often say that those yes or no questions, like, am I ready, aren't actually questions at all. There's no curiosity there. It's just actually affirming an insecurity. But when we
Right.
open the question to more possibility, I don't have to ignore the fear or the insecurity, but what if I open it up to the possibility that got me started in the first place? What if I let both get equal airtime
Mhm.
or at least some
Mhm.
air?
Yeah, perfect. That's
What
really
makes
great.
sense for me. Yes, it's interesting to see how we can confuse curiosity sometimes for just a statement with a question mark at the end.
That's beautifully said. You're absolutely right. Like it feels responsible to like question and query ourselves in that way. Like somehow, like that's, yeah, responsible is the only word I can really think of in this moment. Like that's a necessary step, but it's a terrible question that isn't, that is exactly as you said. It's just affirming what we are most afraid of inside. It's like, because the answer is always usually no.
Almost always. It's so true. And then what follows is all the confirmation bias. I call it friends and evidence. All the friends and
Mm.
evidence thoughts are coming right after that. And they are
Mm.
to just give you a tornado of doubt. And so we have to break free by opening up the questions to a little more true curiosity.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, I was reminding myself just the other day that the brain um, doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. And so why not be more imaginative in our questioning, more playful? And so questions that invite curiosity, that it's almost like if I were already fully trusting myself, I mean, why not? Why not believe that about ourselves? What would I do next? It's like we are a little bit in the land of imagination, but if the brain doesn't really know the difference between being there and the reality of, I don't trust myself at all, like, why wouldn't we stack the odds in our favor?
Totally. And actually, that's imagination as well. It's just imagination that's not working for you,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, look, to your point, why not look at both sides of it? Because
Mhm.
one is going to keep you stuck and the other is going to invite you to move forward.
Exactly. Set you free.
Amazing. Okay. So, is there anything that you would love to leave with our audience today before we close?
Well, I think one of the things that is just bringing me tremendous joy to talk about and teach and gift wherever possible is this idea that we are all full, wise, and worthy, despite where we are in our businesses or in on our leadership journey, or um, because so often I think we mistakenly believe that I will become full, wise, and worthy. And I'll give you those definitions in a second. Once I've achieved that external thing, or I've hit that result, or earned that amount of money, you know, external factors are in charge of my worth, my wholeness, like not being a broken human that needs to be fixed, like I'll be fixed and all put back together and perfect once, and that I'll continue to outsource my knowledge and information. Someone else is wiser than me. But if we are to um, play with this idea that we are all already whole, full humans, with our senses and our hearts and our guts and our intuition and our intelligence, wise when we tap in and listen to what we already know, and worthy just because we are here, then I think that self trust can formulate faster, deepen more quickly, and we will be on our way. Because when we are trying to take action from a place where we are trying to fix ourselves first, we will delay that for as long as possible. So I want to just offer the invitation to your beautiful listeners that um, believing in your inherent wisdom, that you are worthy just by being here, that you are so capable, probably beyond your wildest dreams, that that is a beautiful place to start as you take some risk, put your work in the world, and go after what you most want.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. We are all full, wise, and worthy. And I'll add personally, one of the things that freed me so much, not only in owning that, but also owning that I'm deeply flawed. Not trying to
Mm,
fix that, but just to own it. I am deeply flawed, and there's so much freedom in just accepting that instead of trying to fix it. Because when I'm trying to fix it, I'm so inwardly focused and I can't be out in the world serving. And so I can be deeply flawed and full and wise and worthy and support and serve. And there's so much freedom in that. So I invite you, listeners, to own your flaws, because I will also say that when we own them, we find superpowers in them often.
oh, that is just such an amazing compliment to what I offered. I really appreciate that. I am with you 100%. So, my value of humility is speaking directly to the part of me that is going to always have a typo in everything I write, that there might be a broken link on something now and again, I'm going to forget what matters to me on certain days and not do the things that are important to me. Like flawed 100%. And I can be with myself in those moments while also not having it detract from this belief that I am whole, wise, and worthy as well. So yeah, that brought it full circle in a really great way. So thank you.
So good. I think it's important that we do recognize that power that we have, that we are dynamic humans. We are not
Um,
either great or not great.
yes.
We are whole and wise and worthy. Such a beautiful, beautiful way to say that. And I hope that more people adopt this and give themselves permission to believe it and live it.
Mhm.
This conversation brought me full circle, you guys, to that moment when I didn't get the contract that I wanted badly after certification. And it was exactly what I needed, a necessary no that moved me from the energy I was operating from, fear and proving and scarcity, into
Mhm.
service, self trust, and grounded belief. And that experience changed everything about how I coach and lead. And just so you know, Katie alluded to it. When I came back the second time, anchored in trust and alignment, I did get the contract. And it didn't come from more hustle or more credentials. It came from shifting. And that's exactly the work that Katie is here to champion. So if you've been waiting to feel ready or you're chasing something to prove you're enough, this episode is your reminder. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. Check the show notes for Katie's heart led coaching questions. They're powerful tools to help you reconnect to your own wisdom and worth. Katie, thank you so much for being here today. This has just been a beautiful honor. And I'm so excited that I got to share with you the impact that you have had on my life and my coaching.
Oh, thank you for having me. And most importantly, thank you for being a role model and mentor in this space. You are doing brave and courageous work around uplifting self trust, and you embody it fully and show us all the way. And I get to learn from you on a regular basis. So thank you so much.
Mm, thank you. What will you take away from today's episode? Here are a few of my favorite points. First, confidence isn't the starting point, it's the byproduct. You don't need to feel ready to begin. You need to begin to build the confidence you're craving. Two, boredom, resistance, and doubt aren't red flags. They're expected stops along the path to meaningful work. Self trust helps you keep going anyway. Third, your values are your strategy. When you lead from integrity, humility, and love, or your own core values, clarity follows, even when results don't. And finally, my favorite, you are already whole, wise, and worthy. You don't need to earn it. And when you believe this, action becomes simpler and more sustainable. Own it, live it, and lead with it. Until next time, remember, you don't need a new you. You just need more trust in the one you already are. Inside every goal is a decision, an action, an evaluation, and an adjustment. Keep building your rhythm with the Self Trust Solution. Subscribe, leave a review, and explore how we can work together at theselftrustcoach.com. I'll see you in the next episode.